is this time I was having a conversation with my friend, and I told him that the worst mistake the Kenyan president can ever make is to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. Currently, I don't know who is advising the president or who is advising the government, but the fact that Gachagua is being faced with a lot of things, he has been withdrawn in security for the second time. He was attacked in Limuru, among other things. It's one thing that the government doesn't know its impact, but we also know that President William Ruto won the 2022 campaigns or presidential election courtesy of sympathy from Kenyans. People saw what was happening to him from that regime led by President Uhuru Kenyatta and felt that sympathy, that it was wrong to treat a government official that way. And similarly, the same is happening with the Rigathi Gachagua currently. The attacks, the removal of the security team, the sending home of his staff who were working in the office of the deputy president at that time. And it does not sit well with many Kenyans. And that gives Rigathi Gachagua the strength to amass more people together. But also, as much as Rigathi Gachagua is pulling the mountain close to him, it is not going to work totally on his side as he might think, because if he does not consider certain facts, he might lose the mountain. And when he loses the mountain, it will be a very, very huge blow for him. If he places himself very well in this journey that he is taking, he can become very, very influential in the mountain. He has launched a new party, and there are chances that he will merge hands with Kalonzo Musyoka. There is an elders inauguration ceremony in the mountain to unite the gamer community, where the Kambas are also part of that. So Kalonzo Musyoka is going to be part of that. And this coming together poses a threat to the government of William Samoei Ruto, but also it poses another positive, because we remember the regime of President Arap Moi, he did that without the support of the mountain. But the mountain has asserted itself as a key figure in Kenya's politics for a very long time, that we cannot put it aside that it's not influential when it comes to political matters of this nation. And today I just want to give my own personal view on Gachagua's lethal comeback. His comeback has been felt so hard. He has held a rally in the mountain. So many people have come up. We had the event where he was called on the phone and you could hear people cheer him up. He has launched a new party. And when I was talking to my friend, I told my friend that Gachagua can become one of the biggest critique of the government, because this man has sat in the cabinet, this man has sat in the Security Council meetings. So this guy has been there since UDA was being formed till UDA took power. So he knows the ins and outs of UDA. There is this thing that Gachagua said when he was in a church service, that he is the only one who used to tell the president the truth. And let's listen to what Gachagua said.
The culture of lies in our government has permeated the entire government. Leaders, everybody ni mtu ya uongo. Ati pale Embu walikuwa wanasema ati mimi ndio nilete hiyo watu. Mimi hata walininyima kiti pale kwa jukwaa, nikaenda kukaa na raia. Nikitajwa hema karibu inapasuka. Anasema ati nimeleta hiyo watu. Sasa, people, leaders wanamdanganya rais. Na mimi unajua nilikuwa namwambia ukweli. Na ndio walikuwa hanitaki. Nikamwambia ground imeanza kuharibika, watu wanalalamika mambo ya kodi, watu wamelalamika juu ya hii, makanisa yanaingiliwa, tulidanganya kanisa, tumetoa hii uongo, watu ya housing, mambo ya housing watu hawataki. Watu wanataka wajengewe barabara, wawekewe stima na maji, mtu alijengea nyumba yake. Those things I was telling the president the truth. But leaders wako pale around him, psychopaths, wanamdanganya rais. A man who was popular hapa kwa mlima, popularity yake iko juu ama iko chini sahi? Iko chini ama iko juu? Because people are lying to the president. Instead of just being forthright and tell him there is a problem. This mountain is unsettled. Kenya is unsettled. Find out what is the problem. They are just cheating him. That people are being mobilized, that watu napewa pesa. Lakini uzuri ya hii uongo, siku yake tu ni chache. Uongo naendelea kidogo kidogo, unakuja kukutana na ukweli pahali nafika.
Now, there are 4 things to me that portray Gachagua as a very strong player when it comes to the mountain politics. And I want to share why I think the president made a mistake when it came to impeaching Rigathi Gachagua. Because number one, impeaching Rigathi Gachagua was very wrong. Rigathi Gachagua had enough information about the president. He was there when the president was being fought by Uhuru Kenyatta. He was there when UDA was forming a pact with Akina Musalia Mudavadi, with Akina Moses Wetangula. He was there when UDA was forming the government. He was there when UDA was appointing cabinet secretaries. And he was there in cabinet meetings. He was there in Security Council meeting. Impeaching such a person and trying to fight him is the worst mistake the president can ever make. You cannot fight someone who has so much secrets about you. And if Rigathi decides to come back at the president, he'll come back with facts of what he has seen, of what he has been part of making. Because we as Kenyans never knew how the shareholding government sat. We didn't know that that is how shares used to sit. But we could hear him speak of the shares. Did you even know that they had split the government on matters to do with the influence that you brought to Kenya Kwanza? This is something that we never knew, but Rigathi brought it to the limelight. So impeaching Rigathi Gachagua was a very worse move, because right now Rigathi is going to become a very huge critic for the government. And if he's going to become a critic of the government, he'll critique the government based on the information that Rigathi Gachagua has amassed since he joined Kenya Kwanza and since he started working with the William Samoei Ruto. The second thing is that his new political party that he is launched, because Rigathi Gachagua, once he was sent out of UDA, Rigathi Gachagua, when he was impeached, the UDA party was like, we need to terminate him from the deputy party leader. And it happened because Kindiki is now the deputy party leader, if I'm not wrong. And I'm very sure Rigathi could not sit in UDA as a normal UDA member, because it is the same UDA that joined hands with ODM to see him out of office. So it was inevitable that Rigathi Gachagua was to walk out of UDA and either join forces with Uhuru Kenyatta, which is Jubilee Party, or join Wiper Party of Kalonzo Musyoka, or launch his own party and come back at UDA. And we have seen that he has launched his own party. The president is backing up on Raila Odinga's support in 2027. And remember, I once told you that this may be the wrongest move by the president, because Raila is not trustworthy when it comes to keeping promises. And Rigathi Gachagua walking away with the mountain, if Rigathi Gachagua manages to influence the mountain so badly that it only listens to him or listen to Uhuru Kenyatta come 2027, then the lake may not offer so much support to William Samoei Ruto if Raila does not command it to do that. And Rigathi Gachagua forming a new party, I think, is the man behind this Gema community meeting that is trying to unite the central communities under one umbrella. So if Gachagua is launching a new party and working together with Kalonzo Musyoka, then it's gonna be a huge massive move come 2027, because Gachagua promised a huge alliance in 2027 that is much bigger than KANU back in the days. And he is a man who can pull that, because we know him. We know his influence, we know his connection, we know the amount of money this man has to pull such resources. Third, Rigathi Gachagua has a plan to control the mountain the same way Raila controls the lake. And here is where I said in the beginning of the video that it can be a good thing for Rigathi, but it can also be a bad thing for Rigathi, because the mountain has been living as an independent, but they don't follow anyone politically. They don't follow the decisions of one man. That's why they even didn't follow their kingpin, Uhuru Kenyatta, in 2022. So if Rigathi Gachagua manages to convince the mountain to solemnly follow his decision, he'll situate himself 2027 as a man who will call the shots on where the mountain will vote, right? But if that goes aside for Rigathi Gachagua, then he'll become a laughing stock at the mountain if he fails to pull that. And the only way Rigathi, I think, he can pull this is by merging together with the leaders from the mountain, the likes of Uhuru Kenyatta, forming an alliance. I came across a news that Uhuru told Rigathi not to join Jubilee, but rather join forces with Kalonzo Musyoka, because Uhuru Kenyatta does not want to involve himself so much with politics. This can be a move by Uhuru Kenyatta to find someone to succeed him in the mountain, because maybe he's planning to walk out of politics and he sees Rigathi Gachagua as that man to fit in the shoes of the kingpin of the mountain, because of how vigorous he is when it comes to mountain affairs and mountain matters. And if Uhuru does that when it comes to 2027, he decides that also Jubilee will merge forces with Kalonzo and the new party that Rigathi Gachagua is forming, then it's gonna be a huge blow for the government. And that will be huge if the lakeside side decides not to support William Samoei Ruto, because one thing, as I told you, is that Raila cannot be trusted when it comes to keeping promises. Lastly, Rigathi Gachagua in a church event promised a movement that will shape the Kenyan politics come 2027. This is something that people should not take lightly in the political space. He has the capacity to do that. We see how he's pulling masses. That's what I'm saying. I don't know who is advising the president or the government. These people should leave Rigathi Gachagua alone, because the more you put Rigathi Gachagua in the limelight, the more Rigathi Gachagua gets sympathy. The more you attack Rigathi Gachagua, the more Rigathi Gachagua gets sympathy, the more he gets a huge following. That's even, you see, when Donald Trump there was attempted shooting on Donald Trump. Donald Trump got so many people to his side. So if the government is going to continue to oppress Rigathi Gachagua in one way or the other, because they have also withdrawn his security team for the second time, if it's going to continue this way, then Rigathi Gachagua is going to be more influential, not only in the mountain but across the country, because people will tend to sympathize with him for what the government is doing to him. If William Samoei Ruto is very keen, he should analyze what happened to him during the reign of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and how people came out to support his bid for presidency. And if he continues to do this for Rigathi Gachagua, then Rigathi Gachagua is going to be a very influential key figure in Kenyan politics. The fact that he can't vie for the presidency seat, the fact that he can't vie for any seat, does not mean that he doesn't have the capacity to influence the election of this nation when it comes to the 2027 presidential election. To me, Rigathi's comeback with a new party, Rigathi's comeback with the events in the mountain, Rigathi's comeback with the huge support of the people is something that might shape the 2027 political landscape. But let's watch how it goes, how it unfolds, because it's also too early to speculate on the influence, because time tells. But if he's going to go this way till 2027 January, then I'm telling you, come August, during the election period, for you to get to the mountain, the key will be Rigathi Gachagua. My name is Movali Derek. This has been the Political Spotlight. See you on my next video.